What's up, guys? Back with another cut test. Should be an impressive one. Don't really know. By just looking at the chemistry of it, it should be an impressive cut test. Kershaw tilt. Cutting edge is Vanax75, which is supposed to be somewhere around S90V in the performance department. Maybe a little bit better. Won't know. A lot of people have requested this cut test. Didn't know how to do it because the normal way I have my cut test set up, the knife just didn't want to cut through the rope. Various reasons: geometry, blade thickness. I have it at about 40 degrees right now, which is still fairly thick, but it's shallow enough to get through this rope. Initial sharpness is not hair whittling, but it's nowhere near dull. Let's put it that way. Nowhere near dull. The edge is clean, fresh. I'm using a bamboo cutting board, and the main reason is because the way I have to cut with this knife, it's more of a push cut instead of a slice, so I need to be able to get up. If I was up here, I would be just using the tip. Back here, I can use the whole length of the edge, and I'm hoping you can see that. Same deal, roughly 9 feet of 3/8 inch sisal rope. I need to move the camera just a little bit. This is set up just a little differently. Roughly 9 feet of 3/8 inch sisal rope, and I'm just gonna go ahead and get to the cutting. Oof, this is gonna be messy. These are pretty much push cuts. I mean, they're pretty much 100% push cuts. I always test sharpness after the first few cuts. This already has a roll in it. Still able to slice paper if I do my part. The thing about this tiny cutting board is I'm going to have to toss the scrap fairly often, so I do apologize. I did thin this edge out, and it seems to really be cutting well right now. Like, really well. I'm actually really liking the way it's cutting right now. But I am hating this cutting board. Geez, I hate the way I'm doing this right now. Alright, go ahead and test sharpness one more time. I feel one slight roll in the, could be a chip. Oh, it's a roll. I feel one slight roll in the middle of the edge. I can actually see it. Wonder if you can see this. I'm trying to get this in the camera, in the view of the camera. Still able to slice foam book paper fairly easily. If it didn't have that roll in there, it would be pretty much perfect. The edge is sharp, it's just that roll that's catching and keeping it from slicing clean. Just go ahead and continue. Which, the way I'm cutting, that's kind of to be expected, because I'm making more of a push cut than a draw slice. That's rough. Hard to do in this little space. Gonna have to toss the excess and keep cutting. I'm honestly not having to use a whole lot of force. Seems like this comfortable cutting position is allowing me to cut much more comfortably, not as much force or anything like that. Looking at the edge and feeling the edge, it feels clean. Let me raise the camera. It doesn't slice clean, but it's not dull by any means. Let me toss this so I'm not getting rope all over the place. I hate this little cutting board. So yeah, it's not dull at all. It's actually pretty sharp. So it's doing really well. I see there's two visible rolls right in the middle of the blade where I'm doing a line share of the cutting, which is right here, right in the middle of the blade. That's where it's rolling, which is honestly just par for the course when you're cutting this kind of stuff. I was expecting a lot of carbide tear out, but in other words, developing a toothy edge. I don't really see a lot of that happening when I'm cutting the paper. I don't feel like it's a rough edge yet. I forget the exact chemistry, but I know Vanax75 is full of vanadium carbides, to be precise. The knife itself is really comfortable. Surprisingly, when you're looking at it, you don't think it's going to be, but it's really comfortable. It's honestly pretty amazing how comfortable it is, and it does cut very well. I did not think it would, per my other videos on it, but it actually does. The way this thing is cutting is not representative of how sharp it really is. The very flat cutting edge along with those rolls is making it catch on every little imperfection. But I can tell when I'm cutting that the blade's actually still very sharp. I don't know if you caught it there. The blade's still very sharp. There you go. That was representative of it. Try and show that to you again. If I can hook in. See, I mean, it still slices pretty clean. I'll try and show you the damage that I'm talking about when the test is over, but if that edge deformation wasn't there, then it would still easily slice phone book paper cleanly. yeah, just a couple of degrees that I thinned this edge out really made a difference. I think I'll just go ahead and finish out this last 6.5 inches before I test sharpness again. Especially back here at the heel, it really does cut well for push cuts. Still not a supreme slicer because there's no belly, but I don't think it pretends to be. Last cut. Alright. See what we got. Still catching, but if I could get the cut started. This is a weird steel because it has stayed sharp a lot longer than most steels, but you can't really see it when I'm cutting this paper because of all the catches on the little imperfections in the edge. It's honestly not as tore up as you'd think just by seeing me cut the paper. The edge is actually fairly clean. It's just that painfully straight cutting edge that's exacerbating all those imperfections and making it really hard to cut through the paper. Maybe this will show it better. I mean, it's still definitely sharp enough to cut paper. So it's no slouch. I'm not sure it's at S90V level of performance, but it's definitely no slouch. So Vanax75, pretty good performer. Would have done better if it had some belly. I'll try and show you those imperfections that I was talking about. If I can zoom all the way up. You're not going to be able to see it. I apologize. Can't see it, but it's there. Just a few slight rolls. They're honestly very minor. It just means a lot when the cutting edge is flat. It's just not going to cut paper like it should with those little imperfections. So anyway, Kershaw tilt did really well. Pretty happy with the steel actually. If that was anything other than cutting rope and then cutting paper right after it, it would really show its performance. And I may do a more realistic test. Maybe something like cardboard, I think Vanax75 would do really well on. But anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.